What's up everyone, Vitaliy here with Hertz Instruments, and today I'm gonna be covering top 1 reasons why you probably still hate your guitar tone in 2023. So stick around till the end to find out, but first, let's hear my tone. Alright, that's a pretty solid tone, isn't it? So, how did I get there? And why do you still struggle to? Well, first of all, I gotta say, I'd been struggling to get a decent sounding guitar tone out of an amp sim for years. At one point, I was so desperate that I really wanted to stop trying and quit mixing. Time and time again, I would get my hands on a new amp sim, hoping to finally get a good sounding guitar tone, fiddle around with the knobs, click through a bunch of stock IRs, and end up with a tone that didn't really sound right to me, but then I would start convincing myself, well, of course it doesn't sound right yet, but I'm gonna fix it in post. So I'd open up Pro Q and end up completely butchering the tone with EQ cuts, to the point where my guitar just wasn't sounding like guitar anymore. Sounds familiar, huh? Yeah, that's exactly what my workflow had looked like until I realized just one simple thing. Most of the tone is in the IR. The choice of an IR can make or break your guitar tone, so if you don't like your tone the way it comes straight out of the IR loader, you're not gonna fix it in post. In fact, you're probably going to make it even worse. Because the function of post EQ is not to magically turn a tone you don't like into a tone you do like. With post EQ, you can only make a tone that you're already happy with sit better in your mix. So yeah, an amp sim can and should sound good before any post-processing in 2023. So what you really need to focus on is finding the right IRs that work for you. But what if none of the IRs that come with your amp sim seem to sound the way you want? Oh well, now we can just give up, I guess. Nah, I'm just kidding. What I really encourage you to do is to try some custom external IRs. Luckily, there's plenty of them on the market these days. For example, let me show you how a pair of IRs from our Perfect Match pack by Hertz Instruments can completely change the tone of your amp sim. In these examples, the knobs on the amp are all set to noon, and there's just a drive pedal before the amp to give us a little bit of extra clarity and saturation. Did you hear that? That's a completely different tone, but we've changed only the IRs. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that stock IRs are always bad or anything. If they work for you, that's totally fine. But if they don't, there's no reason for you to limit yourself to what's included with your amp sim. In fact, that's exactly what was holding me back from getting the tones I wanted to hear. So to wrap it up, here's my final advice. If you're struggling to get a guitar tone that sounds good to you, or you're not sure where to start building a guitar tone, here's what you should do. Set the knobs on your virtual amp to noon, just like in my example, and try to find the IRs in your collection that sound good in these settings in the context of your mix without applying any post-processing. You can adjust the gain to your taste, but don't crank it up too high. And maybe put a drive pedal before the amp, just like I did. But don't touch the knobs yet. Pretend like they don't exist, and you can only change your tone by changing the IRs, and be honest with yourself. If none of the stock IRs do the job, don't hesitate to try some custom IRs, like for example our Perfect Match IR pack, which has proven to be pretty versatile for rock and metal rhythm tones. And as a bonus, you can get one of our custom IRs for free by following the link in the description. And remember, there's no reason for you to hate your guitar tone in 2023. The possibilities are endless these days, so your goal really boils down to finding a set of tools and products that work for you and that you can rely on. Alright, that's all for today, and in our next video we'll be talking about amp tweaking and post-processing. And I will show you what you can do to make a guitar tone you already enjoy work even better in your mix. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and also hit the notification bell. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.